It doesn't surprise me that a lot of entrepreneurs are building brands in Odisha today, because Odisha in some ways has been a land of brands. Lord Jagannath is biggest brand and biggest brand ambassador of Odisha. Obhada has been a brand. Rath Yatra is a brand. Dhauli Stupa is a brand. Surya Mandir in Konark is a brand. We have been full of brands of many kinds, so it doesn't surprise me. But the important question is that we need to learn to figure out that going forward, as we build brands, the brands need to be productive and companies need to be productive. McKinsey Consulting's one global study by their McKinsey Institute said that if the low productive organizations could convert into high productive organizations, global economy will expand by $50 trillion. $50 trillion. We are looking very proudly that India could become a $5 trillion. But imagine simply by moving from low productivity to high productivity, we could add to global economy by $50 trillion. The question, therefore, as excellent companies or brand builders for us is how to make our brands work, how to make our companies work to be more and more productive. Turning to brands, I looked at Nielsen research to find that globally, there are apparently 500,000 brands spread over 2,000 products or product categories. In India, I looked at it and I found that there are 30,000 small and medium brands that serve 80% of Indian population. As Indian economy grows and per capita GDP grows, the tendency to look at brands, both in very simple products like edible oil that Mr. Reddy has been spearheading, or many of you, whether it's a tourism product or anything, it will keep on growing. And brands are possible in all categories. There are sector brands. There was a time in my childhood when we say Cadbury, we basically refer to chocolate. Irrespective of what chocolate we bought, we said, "Do Cadbury de dena." He used to give anything, the shopkeeper. But we believed it was Cadbury. That was a sector brand. We have corporate brands. The only corporate brand globally perhaps today from India is Tata's as a brand. There are no other brand that's there. There are service brands. We say, okay, I'll FedEx it to you. Now, even if you send another courier, you still call it, I'll FedEx it to you. It's a service brand. I will Uber myself. Now, you might take some other cab service, but you call yourself, I Uber myself. That's a service brand. There are places that are brands. We say, Lord's is the Makkah of cricket. Now, Makkah becomes a brand. Maybe tomorrow Ayodhya will become a brand. I don't know. They'll say Ayodhya of cricket. I don't know. Maybe. Individuals are brands. A very generous industrialist some years ago described me as Amitabh Bachchan of HR now. Now, it's interesting. Like personally, if I look at myself, how does a brand work? I have been a CEO for 14 years. I ran 2 businesses of $4.5 billion, 30 factories in 20 countries. But still I'm introduced as former HR director of Aditya Birla Group because that's my brand, So the question is, we need to ask this question as we build brand, that what is a brand? I believe David Ogilvy, the father of advertising and branding, said, brand is nothing but that unique image or personality you create about a product, a service, or a corporate, or an individual, or a theater, drama, whatever that you call, if you create that, that is the brand. The 4 leading brands of the world, if you look at Amazon today, and many of us make the mistake of believing that brands only are meant for consumer products. Amazon started as a B2B, moved to B2C, is both a B2B and B2C brand. That's the most valuable brand today. Next one is Apple, perhaps, and following that by Google, and followed that by perhaps Microsoft. But if you look at Google, it stands out how it creates its brand. If you look at 2 of Google's competitors, there was something called Yahoo, which still exists, and there was something called AOL, American Online. Both American Online and Yahoo sold their screen space as real estate property by accepting advertisement. But you go to Google's page, there is no advertisement. It built its brand by saying to people that I want to be a convenience brand for you. Now, that was the uniqueness about Google, how it positioned. So all brand builders have to ask this question. What does differentiate me? Because don't forget to the study that I referred to earlier, that differentiation is the key strategy and the revenue growth is the next strategy to be kind of an exceptional company. And therefore, as other brands died, many brands died also, many brands were killed, brands have to be renewed, refreshed and all of that.